So I was making something. Oh, let me put the hot glue away. I'm gonna hurt myself. So I was making something for a friend, and I thought, well, I'll just show you, and then that way, if you want to make one for a friend, then you can make one for a friend. How's that? Does that sound like a deal? I've got little bits of hot glue everywhere. So I was making a scrap sampler, and those of you that have been with me for a minute know what the scrap sampler, my little scrap sampler booklets are. And this one happened to be a little different because it was all fabric scraps. And so the same general kind of construction I would think applies, except for a few things. So I just have a stack of things that are of similar either width or length. It doesn't matter either way. I just try to make sure that whatever little booklet I'm going to be putting it into, little sampler case, that I try to either make it about the same length or about the same width, but I don't want anything kind of hanging out. So what this is a file folder. You might be able to see the score lines there. And what I wanted to do before I'll stack that together in a moment, is I was going to chomp the corners, at least this one for now. I'll show you what I'll do the other one. And also these corners. And I know you guys have scrap fabrics and textiles, not just paper, right? So another thing I wanted to do was make a tab out of this side. So the size of this is about 5 inches wide, and it's folded, and then with it folded over, this is like 7 inches, and this is 5. And then this little folded over part is a little over 2. Yeah, 2.5. So this is a little folded, and like I said, I just used the natural fold of the, the file folder. I'll get it. So I'm just gonna make a little tab out of this side, which is absolutely unnecessary. But you know. I just wanted to make it a little different. And then I just cut that off. If you don't have one of these We Are Memory Keeper tab punch board thingamabobbers, you may have a, just a regular tab punch. And there's the kind that make the doubled over ones. And there's the kind that make just the singles. So you could also, if you wanted to mimic this kind of a look, you could, use one of those. Or you could actually just cut one out, And it doesn't even have to be tab shaped. It could just be, an oval. There's no rules. Well, and if there are rules, there shouldn't be. If there are rules, I don't know about them, so don't tell me. Don't tell me. So I'm going to mark up here at the top about, I don't know, an 1.25 inches in on each side. I don't even know if that's like even. It's sort of even. It's kind of sort of even. Anyway, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my crocodile, and I'm going to make little punchies, which also is unnecessary, because if need be, you could always just use a, little hole punch. But this is what I wanted to do, was, where are my, oh, you're there. They're hiding under stuff. Get a couple little eyelets, which I'm going to have to go buy more of. And on the front, just on the front flap part, I'm going to set these eyelets through the hole. because it's just, you know, to look nice. And while I'm at it, again, this is not necessary. I'm going to ink the edges. This would be pretty made out of just cardstock of like patterned designer scrapbook cardstock. Be pretty too. It's just I've got some old file folders sitting around. I have a lot of old file folders sitting around. When my husband's office moved, they cleaned out a bunch of stuff, and instead of recycling them, my husband brought them home to me so that I could use them. So I've been using these for, you know, a couple of years now. And then you're welcome to, I mean, you can ink these edges. It depends on what your folder little card's made out of. If you use one of the dark green, like the hanging file folders, which I adore those. I adore the heck out of those. You don't even have to do any of this because it's already kind of cool looking on its own. You can do the back if you want. I'm not going to do that right this minute. I was going to put some little hole reinforcers on the back, but I don't have any right now. I think can you believe it? You know, you buy like 1,000 at a time, and I think I ran out. So this is what I'm going to do instead. I'm going to grab a piece of just craft cardstock, and I'm going to cut a couple little circles, just like that. And then, of course, you could use a bigger hole circle punch. I just, you know, got the one that was right in front of me, and hopefully it'll be big enough. Glue those on. Oh, those are not even, Nick. Not even. Not even. Oh, well. Whew, just let it go. Let it go, man. Just let it go. I'm going to get my hole punchy thingy again. And I'm just going to punch through the middle of those. And what this does is it's not really for prettiness sake. It's just so that the card doesn't rip when you put stuff in it. Does that make sense? Anyway, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take some of these fabrics, and I'm just going to layer them together so that the top edges meet. Do that one. Put that on this side. And I got some lace. There's a doily. Oh, there's this one. I love this muslin stuff. I'm going to put that underneath this one since it's a little bigger. Just as long as it all meets up here at the top. And then I have tiny little scrap of some tea stained something or other, and some ribbon, which I'm going to fold over in halfsies, and just make sure that the fold is up there. And maybe I'll put that over here. That one there. This is some gauzy cheeseclothy stuff, and it can hang out underneath one of these ribbons. How's that? Just gonna layer that up. And then how about a doily? Should I put a doily in here? Maybe I'll put the doily like, I don't know, like here, and then put the ribbons on top. And then I sewed some buttons onto the bottom of this piece of ribbon so that they could have some little extra things to play with. I might put this under that. And then this. Goes maybe over for like such and so forth. Like these. I don't know, I'm not digging that for some reason. Okay, so that's going away. Something about that was just bugging me. So I'll just use more of the neutral colors this time. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine and I'm just going to sew a row of basting stitches along the top, and which you do not have to do. You can hand stitch this if you want, and I'll be right back. All right, so it's all sewn together. I did not back stitch on either end. I just kind of left it open, and then that way if they wanted to open this up and just rip out the stitches, then everything is loose. I'm going to close that over like that. And then I'm going to grab some thread or some embroidery floss, something of that nature. Got this color looks better. And I'm going to need a needle with a very, very large eye. Because it has to thread through. You could also use baker's twine, anything that you have lying around really, anything that you think that would sew through something without getting caught. And then I'm just going to bring it over here and feed the needle through this way. You can go through a couple of times if you want. You know, loop it around again if you want. That is up to you. But I am just going to tie a nice snug knot as much as I can, and then maybe a bow on top of that. I don't always trust a bow to hold unless you double tie the bow, which I'm going to do, but I usually try to tie a knot first. There we go. So now you have a little fabric scrap sampler, and if you want to put a little sticker, here, or perhaps you can go to my Flickr, the link will be down there, and you can get some of the little labels, and you can even stick these on the back too. You know, you could put little labels for the scrap samplers on the back. But I think I'm going to put this one here just to do it. Just to kind of complete the look on the front, since there's a tab. If it didn't have something on it, it might bug me. No, it would bug me. For sure it would bug me. There's no might involved there. Okay. Oh, and somebody asked how to make these. I'll have to make one of these next time. Okay, my little needle book. Okay, so here is your little fabric scrap sampler. What I like about these is, just like the ones with the paper scraps, you can snip little pieces off if you want, or they can just untie this and take the whole thing out, and then just take out the stitches, and then that way everything is whole. But if they're going to be going on a trip and they want to keep it contained, this is a nice way to keep things contained without little bits flying everywhere, and you can still look through it. So it's not like having it in a bag and it's getting all wadded up and that kind of thing. You can actually see what you have, which I think is just kind of darling. Now, we made paper ones, and now, ink on my hands. Now we've made fabric ones. So you can mix those two and make like a, mixed media sampler with paper and fabric and trims, and you can sew little charms on. And of course that would be a raggedy kit, or just to, maybe you don't want to sit in your craft room or wherever you have your crafts, maybe you're watching a football game or a movie and you want to just have something in your lap to help you to finish embellishing off something that you're working on. I think one of these is great. So like I said, make one with fabric or one with paper or one with fabric and paper. And yeah, they're super cute. I'm going to attach at the end of this video a quick little video that shows you how to download from Flickr. It does not matter whether you are logged in or not. You download the exact same way. All right, guys, thank you for hanging out with me today. I will see you guys really, really soon in the next video. Bye, guys. All right, so as you can see, I am not signed in. It's asking me to sign up or log in. And so this is a browser window that does not have my login. I'm going to paste that link, and then I'm just going to hit enter. And it's going to take me right to that page. Now all you have to do to download, even if you are not logged in, it is the exact same way if you are logged in. Do you see this little arrow, this little downward arrow down here at the bottom right hand side? Click on that and a little box will pop up. And what those are is those are the measurements that you can download in. I suggest just downloading the original size if you want the full resolution. So just click on original. And then down here at the bottom, it'll say, what do you want to do with, and then whatever the number of that, whatever Flickr named this page. And you can just hit save and then go to open folder. And there it is. And then you can, it's now on your computer. You can print it. You can drag it out of your downloads folder or wherever you have told your computer to put your downloads and use it from there. But that's all you have to do.